Gave him a double warning.
Khan. Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. Hey, welcome to another YahawahsCamp Warzone Wednesday. Hey, first off, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah by Hashem Yahawah. And we're going to go around the panel for the introduction, right? So this brother Yahshua ban Yahawah.
Hey, Shalom, Yashala. Kwam Yashala. This is your brother Mahar.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. It's your brother Shalak Ban Shamaywan.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. It's your brother Kazak.
Hey, all praises. Hey, Shalom to all the brothers and sisters that's tuning in tonight, right? So we gonna get into it, right? So, hey, the brother put in the parental advisory in the beginning, right? So, hey, as you can see by the title, we go get into some real explicit stuff tonight, right? But the Lord put it in our spirit to bring out this lesson for the nation, right? So, hey, we gonna give y'all a heads up. Hey, this lesson gonna be kind of bold, right? You might hear and see some things that might be a little explicit, right? So, hey, if I was you, if you got the kids around, you might want to put the kids to bed for this lesson, right? Because we ain't gonna hold our tongue tonight. We gonna bring out, we gonna bring out this lesson through the spirit, right? So let me get hey Ephraim, can you pull up 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15? And Kazak, can you give me the book of Psalm chapter 40 and verse 8? Baba Kashah.
It's like you said, 1 John 2
and
15.
15. If you could pull it up on the screen.
Here it comes. Pow!
Praises. So, hey, like I said, as you can see by the title, this lesson, this is something that the Most High put in my spirit, right? It's a lot of people in the nation, that's dealing with these certain things in these last days, right? Right. So through the spirit, right, we go into this topic, right? How to overcome lust, right? Pornography, drug addiction, right? There's a lot of some of our people going through, these things in these last days, right? Even people in the truth, right? So through the spirit, we go edify the nation, right? You got brothers and sisters that might be just coming into the truth, right? You got brothers and sisters that ask questions to the camp, right? We ain't gonna put out no names out there, but you got people that's actually, struggling with stuff like this, right? Some of us were struggling with certain stuff, when we first came into the truth, and even, going through this truth, right? Right. So we go get into it, right? So let me get that 1 John and Shalak. Shalak, can you give me the book let me get Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5.
Khan.
Right, so we go break it down for the people, right? Because you got a lot of people, believe it or not, that, like I said, that might be knowing the truth or that might be struggling with certain things, and they ask questions, right? So we go answer all these questions through the spirit, right? You got people that's in the truth, that think you can still, smoke weed, right? You can take certain drugs, right? You got people that ask questions. You might have brothers that's single that might be in the truth, right? Asking certain questions about is it okay to, watch these certain videos, and is it okay to, do, X, Y, and Z, right? You got sisters in the truth that ask questions about, is it okay to, self pleasure yourself, right? So we go get into it, right? So let me get that, and let me get the real quick in 1 John chapter 2.
Con.
All right, you could bring it out.
The book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Right, so let's stop right there. So the Lord said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world, right? And it's going to further explain what those things are, right? Because this is like, the subject of the topic, right? So read on. Read on.
I'll pick it up for him.
Yeah, I think he on mute.
Oh,
Okay.
Salakia, my bad. I forgot to unmute. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh,
Right, so let's
and
stop right there. You see that? It says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, right? And what else?
and the lust of the eyes.
Right, so let's stop right there. And I'm going to bring out this precept in Sirach, right? So it says, all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and you got the lust of the eyes, right? And I'm going to bring this precept out that's going to go along with that, right? This the book of Sirach, chapter 31, and I'm going to start at verse 13. It says, remember that a wicked eye is an evil thing, and what is created more wicked than the eye, right? So that's why the Lord, we brought that out in First John. He said, you got the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes, right? And in this wicked society, we have been programmed to follow after the lust of the flesh, right? We have been programmed to follow after the lust of the eyes. That's all you see out here in this world, right? That's what we see every week when we out there on them streets at camp, right? You got men lusting after another man's wife, right? You got men lusting after other men, right? You got pedophiles lusting after children, right? You got women lusting after men, right? Women lusting after a man's money, right? So that's what you got in this world. You got all types of lust, all types of fornication, right? All types of sexual immorality, right? So let's read that again in First John chapter 2.
God. It says, love not the world, and neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For
Right?
all
So
that is
the
in
Lord
the
said,
world,
so let's stop right there. So he said, if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Right? So we're not supposed to love this world. We're not supposed to love the wicked things that take place in this world. Right? You're supposed to hate this world, right? You're supposed to hate the immoral sexual activity that happened in this land. Right? You're supposed to hate the pedophilia, right? The adultery, the whoredom, right? The homosexuality, right? You supposed to hate all those things that happen in this world, right? But like I said, Satan has programmed, the world and specifically our people, right? To follow after our own lusts, right? That's why he pushed this, push stuff like drugs, right? Pornography, right? It's all on social media, right? It's all on the internet, right? Because he's trying to destroy the minds of our people, right? So we go show our people how to overcome in these last days, right?
hey, it's real
So
bad too. Like you go through Facebook ads and you see a full blown porn just pop up out of nowhere. It's
right,
crazy.
and that's wicked. That's wicked as hell, right? Because when I was growing up, I remember like when Facebook, and a lot of these social media sites just came out, and I don't remember seeing none of that, right? But hey, hey, that's how Satan get down in these last days, right? Right. So let's read verse 16.
God. It says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes,
Right. So
and the
let's stop right there. The lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes, right? Like I said, they push it forth all on social media, right? It's all on YouTube, all on the internet, all on the radio, right? You even got videos, like I be saying YouTube videos where it's like a popular thing now, right? Where like when you click on YouTube and the algorithm, they be having these what they like they call them smash or pass videos. Y'all ever heard of that?
Yeah, it's madness.
So basically, so
Uh,
so basically, right? They program you to follow after your own lust. I mean, that's madness. You got basically it's like a group of females, right? And then the dudes, they got the dudes go up to them and they be like, "Yeah, I smashed her," or "No, I passed her." "Oh yeah, she look good. I smashed her." Right? That's how that's how they destroy the minds of our young people, right? So now you can't even look at a woman, right, without looking at her body, right? Now a woman can't even, look at a man, right, and unless she looking at, his private area, right? That's how they trying to destroy the minds of our people, right? You got videos with them. I seen people that's supposed to be in so-called relationships, right? They even doing the down smash and pass videos with like they wives and their girlfriends and stuff like that, right?
That's disgusting.
Right, that's crazy. Hey, you got it. Hey, you be like, would you smash so and so? Right, it might be a celebrity or a basketball player, and the man might ask his wife if she would smash or pass. Right. Hey, how wicked is that, man?
Hey, but you know what's even more wicked is like when they have these swinger parties,
Oh,
right? And
hey,
they have swinger parties, they have swinger clubs, they have like you got to pay entrance fees to get into these places.
hey, we go get into that too. Hey, trust me, in this lesson we go cover all that, right? Hey, we go into it. You feel me? So, hey, we ain't gonna leave no stone unturned tonight, right? So, like I said, you even got videos on YouTube where it might be a man and his wife, and they doing a damn smash or pass, right? The dude asking his wife if she is smash or pass, damn Chris Brown, right? Trey Songz, right? Right? Like I said, that's madness. How the hell do you got your husband and your wife sitting right next to you, and you talking about you would smash or pass another man? Like how much like how that is just madness. That's complete madness, right? You allowing your wife to say whether she would smash or pass another man, right? And like the brother brought out the mighty precept, right? Stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. But that's what we programmed to do, in these last days. They want to program you just to desire a woman for pleasure or a woman to desire a man for pleasure, right? That's why people desire drugs for pleasure, right? In these last days, it's all about self pleasure. It ain't about pleasing the Lord, it's about pleasing your flesh, right? So let's finish verse 16.
Con. It says, "For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world."
You see that? It's not of the Father, but it's of the world. And I want to read that part again. It says, and the pride of life, right? Because when you look at the world today, everybody is prideful to be wicked. Everybody is prideful to follow after their own lusts, right? It's like all the wicked things that take place right now, like back in the day, you couldn't be out in the open like that, right? If you was a so-called homosexual back in the day, and you had to keep that on the down low, right? It wasn't no so-called gay pride month, and you know what I'm saying, where you could just go out in the streets and profess to the world openly that you were a damn sodomite, right? If you was a whore, you couldn't just go out on the streets and you know what I'm saying, just promote yourself. But now look at the world today. You see the pride of life. People are prideful to be wicked, right? You got so-called gay pride month. You got all these damn sodomites, grown men and women out here butt naked, right? You got grown men out here, right, waving around the flag, the LGBTQ flag, right? Dressing like females. And I seen, look, and I told y'all this last week, bro. I seen the damn Jake, man. I was at on the plantation, and I seen Jake. Damn, Jake came up to me, man, and it was a grown ass man. He had makeup all on his face, right? He had his nails painted, right? He had extensions all in his hair. He had lip gloss on, right? He had chin hairs, and he still had his sideburns. I'm like, damn, brother, if you go try to be a female, at least cut your damn sideburns off. I mean, that's crazy. That is madness.
Hey, that's the least you can do.
And I'm not, trying to get the brother to go off even more. But damn, I mean, that's confusion. A grown ass man, he still got his damn sideburns and his beard connected, and he got lip gloss on, man. I mean, that is madness, man. Right? You see that? But hey, this is what the world is coming to in these last days, right? Right? You got the rappers talking about it in their songs, talking about how they slept with so and so girl, right? How they taking all these different type of drugs, right? How they pouring up lean in the bottle of Sprite, right? Hey, back in the day, you couldn't openly come out and say stuff like this, but now all type of wickedness is being promoted,
Hey,
right?
Salakia King, wasn't Usher just hugged up on Alicia Keys on national TV?
Oh yeah, they was talking about that. Yeah, I heard people talking about that a couple days ago. And
Damn, he was like my boo.
ain't she with she with another rapper or something, ain't she?
Swiss Beats.
Right, yeah, right. You see that?
Hey, but look, I heard that they live that lifestyle though. They live that lifestyle, that swinging lifestyle. Like he lets other dudes tag his woman. That's disgusting.
Right, and you see that, hey, and that's why in these last days we got to separate, right, from all this immorality, right? Separate from the drugs, right? Separate from the pornography, right? The fornication, the lust, right? Hey, all those type of things take place in that, man, right? And like you said, the pride of life, right? Now it's out in the open, right? Men professing that they let their wives, sleep with other men, right? Men professing that they homosexuals, right? Women openly professing that they whores, right? Now you got Eve out here talking about subscribe to my OnlyFans, right? Out in the open. Hey, I remember a damn wicked ass Eve told me that at camp one night. I don't know if y'all remember we was on Glenwood. Remember when they had they was doing that construction on that building, right? That night we had camp over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember I was teaching and the sister came by. She said, yeah, subscribe to my OnlyFans, right? And that joint low key pissed me off, right? Talking about subscribe to my, hey, you couldn't do that back in the day, right? But now prostitution and fornication and homosexuality, all these things are promoted now, right? It's out in the open, right? So let's read down to verse 17.
It says, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away.
Right,
And the
you see
lust.
that? It said, and the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, right? So, hey, this world gonna pass away. And what is it? And how is this world gonna pass away? Right? The same way Sodom and Gomorrah passed away, right? The same way the world during the time of Noah passed away, right? By death and destruction,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's
gonna
how
be
this
an
world,
increased punishment. Salaki, it's gonna
right?
be a thermonuclear.
Right. So that's how this world gonna pass away, by death and destruction, right? So all these things finna come to an end, right? All this homosexuality, all this fornication, right? This lust, pornography, all type of pedophilia, all these things go pass away with this wicked world, right? By death and destruction, right? So finish that off, King.
Khan. It says, and the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But
Mm-hmm.
he that doeth the will of God abideth forever.
You see that? But he that doeth the will of God, they go abide forever, right? So let's get that in Psalms to find out what the will of God is, right? For those who don't know, right? Because all the immorality that take place in this land go pass away, right? The Lord go destroy it the same way he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, right? The same way he destroyed the world during the time of Noah, right? But only if you, it says, and he that doeth the will of God abideth forever, right? That's the only way you go escape that destruction, right? So let me get there real quick to Psalm 40 and verse 8.
Con.
All right, you could bring it out, King.
Con. This is the book of Psalm chapter 40, verse 8. It says, I delight to do thy will, O my God. Yea, thy law is within my heart.
Wait, what is the will of God?
Thy law is within my heart.
You see that? So going back to that First John, it says that he that doeth the will of God, he go abide forever, right? So it's showing you that the will of God is the law, statutes, and commandments. That's how you go get everlasting life, right? That's how you go inherit the kingdom of heaven, right? By keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? That's how you go escape the destruction that the Lord go bring upon this wicked world, right? So let me get that in Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5. And hey Ephraim, can you pull up Romans 7 and 7? And Kazak, can you give me the book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17, Baba Kashah?
Con.
Right? Because the things that's happening on the earth right now, it ain't nothing new, right? These wicked acts took place on the earth before, right? It might not have been to this magnitude, but the Lord said there ain't nothing new under the sun, right? All the sexual immorality that take place in this land, it already happened on the earth before, right? So let me get that Genesis 6 and 5, and we go read down to verse 9.
Con. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 5. The wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
All right, so
And
let's read that. Hey, Salaki, it sounded like you was breaking up a little bit. Let's read that again from the top, verse 5.
Genesis 6 and 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every
Right, so let's stop
imagination.
right there. Let's stop right there, Salaki, right? So the Lord said that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, right? And that's what you see right now. Don't you see the wickedness of man great in the earth, right? Probably even more wicked than it was back then, right? You see all type of homosexuality, right? All type of adultery, right? All type of pedophilia, right? You got all type of madness taking place on this earth, man. Right? All type of wickedness, right? So let's read on.
Con. And that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
Right? So
And
every
it
imagination of his heart was only evil continually, right? Like I said, that's why they try to program our minds at a young age, right? That's why they try to program us at a young age, right? They don't want you to meditate on the laws and commandments like it tell you to do in Joshua 1 and 8, right? They don't want you to focus on serving the Lord, right? You know what the Satan, right? You know what the rulers of this world want you to meditate on, right? In these last days, he wants you to meditate on sex and drugs, right? And money, right? That's like the top three things that's promoted in this wicked world, right? Sex, drugs, and money, right? He don't want you to meditate on these laws and commandments, right? He don't want you to focus on inheriting the kingdom of heaven, right? They want you to focus on sex, drugs, and money, right? Right. So let's keep reading. You there, Shalot?
His phone
Can
sound
you
like
hear
it's
me?
spazzing out.
Yeah, he going in and out.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, Con. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, "O man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air. For repenteth me that I have made them." But
Right. So just
Noah,
like the Salaki, so just like the Lord did during that time, he gonna do the same thing again. You don't think the Lord gonna bring destruction to this place, right? The same exact thing that was taking place during that time is literally happening right now, right? Don't they pass laws, right, for homosexuality in America, right? Ain't they trying to push homosexuality into other countries, right? Ain't they trying to pass laws in California for pedophilia, right? For same-sex marriage, right? Why you think they doing all this, right? This goes into population control, right? They want to control the population. They want to control your mind and your spirit, right? So the Lord said he go destroy man from off the earth, right? You can keep reading.
verse 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord.
So right, you see
These,
that? Let's stop right there. It said, for Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. And in these last days, hey, we want the same spirit that Noah had, right? Noah was a righteous example, right? Because remember what we read in 1 John chapter 2, verse 17. Hey, the Lord said, this world and the lust thereof, it's going to pass away. It's going to be destroyed. But he that doeth the will, he go abide forever, right? So during this time, when the Lord destroyed the earth with the flood, Noah abided after the flood, right? Noah survived through the flood, right? So read on.
these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with God.
Right, you see that? And I said on that, right? So it said Noah was a just man,
Con,
right? And he was perfect in his generation. And this is what we got to be in these last days, right? We got to be just and we got to be perfect. And we got to continue to endure and do the will of the Lord, which is keeping his law, statutes, and commandments, right? And not partaking in all the immoral acts that take place in this land, right? So we got to be like Noah, right? And the Lord had mercy and he had grace on Noah, right? Because Noah was righteous and he was an upright man, right? So in these last days, and we got to be righteous, we got to be perfect, we got to be upright, right? We got to keep our garments white, right? So let me get Where I had you at, Ephraim? Romans 7 and 7.
Con.
And then Kazak, you had Exodus 20 and 17.
Okay.
Con and Shalak, can you give me James 1 and 14?
Um,
Hold on, let me get there to Romans real quick. Right? So we go into the law, right? We go break this down. Like I said, right? We might go to full length tonight, but we go cover everything, right? So we go into the law, right? Because like I said, you got some people in this truth that's, still partaking and, all type of immorality, right? You got people in the truth that's still, dealing with drugs, right? Still dealing with immorality, fornication, adultery, right? Pornography, lust, right? Right. So we got to go into this because at the end of the day, all this drugs and sexual immorality, pornography, lusting, all that goes into being covetous, right? Going into idolatry, right? Going into defiling your temple, right? So we go into the scriptures because, hey, believe it or not, you got some people out there, that might say it's okay to smoke weed. You might have some congregations that might tell you it ain't nothing wrong with smoking, right? It ain't nothing wrong with pleasing yourself, right? It ain't nothing wrong with lusting. And you got brothers out here, well, show me in the law where I can't smoke weed. Show me in the law where I can't lust, right? Hey, so we go get into it, right? So let's go into this Romans 7 and 7.
Con. The book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 7. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid. Nay, I had not known sin but by the law. For I had not known lust, except the law had said, Thou shalt not covet.
Right, you see that? So it said, I had not known lust, except the law had said, Thou shalt not covet. Right? So you got people out here talking about, where in the law do it say I can't lust? Right? Hey, the Lord said, hey, that goes into being covetous. That's associated with being covetous, right? It says, lust is evil and wicked. So how do you strengthen weak flesh and keep your thoughts pure and righteous? Hey, that's a good question that the sister asked, right? And hey, we go get into it, right? Like I said, hey, we go break it down from top to bottom, right? So we go touch all bases tonight, right? So hey, that's a good question, and Lord willing, we go answer it throughout this lesson, right? Right. So it says, I'm gonna read that again. It says, "For I had not known lust, except the law had said, Thou shalt not covet." Right. So we gonna go into that law, going into being covetous, right? Because some people say, well, show me in the law where it says I can't lust. Well, we go get into it. Right. So let me get that Kazak in Exodus 20 and 7.
Con, you ready, King?
Yeah, Exodus 20 and 17.
Yep.
Salaki, 2017.
Con. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 17. It says, Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
Salaki. So there we go, right there in the law. Right? It says, I had not known lust, except the law said, Thou shalt not covet. And we going into that law about being covetous, right? Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Right? So we got, in these last days, we got to separate from being covetous, right? We got to stop being lustful and being covetous, right? And believe it or not, hey, some of these things still take place even in the truth. Believe it or not, you got brothers coveting after other brothers' wives, right? Yeah. These things be going on in Israel, believe it or not. Right? You got brothers DMing other brothers' wives, right? Yeah, he can't teach you like I can, right? And he can't break it
Damn.
down. Hey, that's how. Hey, believe it or not, hey, these type of things be going on. Believe it or not, right? Yeah, he can't give you the breakdown the same way I could break it down, right? Hey, we got to stop doing that, man, right? Or the Lord go bring that death and destruction. He go bring that punishment, right? So let's finish that off.
God. It says, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's."
Right. So that was it on that. We just wanted to go into that law. But let me get that what's that, James? Let me get that James 1 and 14. And Kazak, can you get stay in Exodus chapter 20, but can you start at verse 1 and hold that for me? And
God.
hey Ephraim, can you pull up that first video I sent you? The first one?
Con. Drug addiction.
Yeah, I put them all in order on how I wanted them in order. So the first
Okay.
one I sent you, that's the first
Yeah.
one
Yeah, that's
we
the
go
first.
bring out. And then the second one I sent you, we go keep going down that line. All right, let me get there real quick to James. All right, because ultimately, if you don't, separate from that being covetous and lusting and going after the lust of your flesh, hey, we gonna show you where that's gonna lead you, right? In the end, right? Hold on, Luke. We go bring this out real quick. So, Shalak, you got that James 1:14?
Hey, Shalom, can y'all hear me?
Kanye, I can hear you now.
Nah, yeah, I got kicked off. My Wi-Fi bugging. James 1 and 14. But every man is tempted
So let's
when
stop
he
right
is.
there. Hold on, let's stop right there. It says, but every man is tempted. And that's one thing we got to realize, right? I believe that was part of the sister question that she asked. She said, well, how do we overcome, being tempted? I believe it was something to that extent. But it says every man is tempted, right? Every woman is tempted, right? You see that? She says, so how do you strengthen weak flesh and keep your thoughts pure and righteous, right? And we go get into it throughout this lesson, right? Hey, see, that's why the Lord put it in our spirit to bring out this lesson, right? Because you got, our people dealing with this stuff in these last days, right? In and out the truth, right? It says, but every man is tempted, right? And you see that even all throughout the scriptures. Hey, Yahawah was tempted, right? Job was tempted. A lot of our forefathers and foremothers was tempted, right? Right. So read on.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed.
You see that? So everybody is tempted because you drawn away of your own lust and you enticed by the lust of your flesh, right? Read on.
Then, when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin.
Right. Let's stop
And
right there. So when lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin. That's why it's not good to be lustful. It's not good to be covetous because that's just the first step. It says, and when lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin, right? So lust, that's just you meditating on it, you thinking about it, right? And then that sin is when you actually put forth the action. So every time you go off, it's gonna start as a thought in your mind, and then eventually you gonna want to act on that thought, and that's gonna lead you into sin. And what is sin? 1 John 3 and 4, the transgression of the law, right? So being lustful and being covetous go lead you into breaking the commandments, right? So let's finish that off.
then, when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
You see that, right? And after it says, and when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Because we all know, what's that? Romans 6:23. For the wages of sin is death, right? So you continue on this path of being covetous, right? Following after the lust of your flesh, that's gonna lead you into sin, and then ultimately that sin is gonna lead you into death, right? So let's read verse 16, and then that's gonna be it on that.
Do not err, my beloved brethren.
Right. So even James said, do not err, don't go off, my beloved brethren, right? So in these last days, we have to abstain from the lust of our flesh, right? And we have to walk in the spirit, right? And cause like you had that Exodus 20:1.
Con.
Hey, who else we got on here?
Got
Shalak.
brother Aniel. Hey, Shalom, Mark.
Hey, shalom to everybody that hopped on.
Cap
Hey,
popped in. Shalom, Cap.
shalom. Hey, Anya, you there, Anya?
Con, I'm here, King.
Hey, shalom, King. Hey, can you give me 1 Corinthians 3:16, Baba Kashai?
Con.
Right. So we go get, we go keep going into it, right? So let's I want to show the people this first video though. Right. So let's go into this first video and then we go into that Exodus chapter 20, right? Cause so the first part is right, like we're going into certain addictions that people have, right? Even being in this truth, certain brothers and sisters deal with certain addictions. Well, they call them addictions, but really that's certain spirits that's manipulating your mind, right? So you got people that addicted to certain drugs, right? You got brothers that can't stop smoking weed, right? You got brothers that's so-called addicted to pornography, right? So we go get into this drug addiction first. And then we go into that Exodus chapter 20, right? Right, because of ultimately all these things, like I said, right, being addicted to drugs and fornication, right, pornography, all these things go into like we went into that James, right, going after the lust of your flesh go lead you into sin, and then that sin is gonna lead you into death, right? What is that sin? Right, that sin is going into idolatry, right, being covetous, right, defiling your temple, right. So let's play this first video.
Hey,
While
Shalom,
addiction can
Shalom,
look
Akim.
very different.
Hey, Salatia, my bad. Shalom, Shalom, Akim. Yahawahscampraleigh, Baruch Thumb.
Shalom.
While
So let's
addiction can look
hey
very
Ephraim, let's
different.
read the title of the video too. I
Con.
can't.
It says, can you see that? It says common symptoms of drug addiction.
Right. So common symptoms of drug addiction, right? So we go see some of the things that people go through, when they so-called addicted just to certain drugs, right? Right. So let's play it.
Different from person to person. There are some common signs and symptoms. Some common signs for drug addiction can include the following: developing a drug tolerance, experiencing withdrawal symptoms if drug use stops, being unable to stop drug use despite wanting to, spending a significant amount of time thinking about obtaining and using substances, facing relationship problems, changes in sleeping habits, your appetite and appearance, mixing drugs with alcohol, borrowing or stealing money to obtain drugs, abusing prescriptions to get more drugs, and lastly, mood changes and a lack of interest and motivation in things one's love. If someone is exhibiting these signs and symptoms of drug addiction, it is best to educate yourself, talk about it, and then connect with professional help.
think you're on mute, King.
The water, Salakia. But that's what we just went into in James chapter 1 and verse 14, right? Going after the lust of your flesh, right? Right? He said certain drugs people be addicted to, right? It said that they have symptoms where they can't even sleep, right? They don't even have appetite, right? They do certain things just to get money to continue to buy that drug, right? They steal from people, right? That literally goes into that lust going into that sin, and then that sin leading to death, right? Then the Lord say, "Thou shalt not steal," right? And it just said the brother just said a lot of people that struggle with drug addictions, right? They steal from people just to get enough money to continue to buy that drug, right? Hey, you could play the second video too. That second video.
God.
Hey, this one even crazier. Hey, we go show the people, you know, what being addicted to certain drugs and stuff do to your brain, right? Like I said, you got people that's even in the truth that's still dealing with, you know, certain things, dealing with smoking weed, right? They can't stop drinking. Some people that's in the truth got you know, so-called alcohol addiction, right? So let's play that video. What it say? Mechanism of drug addiction in the brain.
God.
All right, let's play that.
Addiction is a neurological disorder that affects the reward system in the brain. In a healthy person, the reward system reinforces important behaviors that are essential for survival, such as eating, drinking, sex, and social interaction. For example, the reward system ensures that you reach for food when you are hungry because you know that after eating you will feel good. In other words, it makes the activity of eating pleasurable and memorable, so you would want to do it again and again whenever you feel hungry. Drugs of abuse hijack this system, turning the person's natural needs into drug needs. The brain consists of billions of neurons, or nerve cells, which communicate via chemical messages, or neurotransmitters. When a neuron is sufficiently stimulated, an electrical impulse called an action potential is generated and travels down the axon to the nerve terminal. Here it triggers the release of a neurotransmitter into the synaptic cleft, a space between neurons. The neurotransmitter then binds to a receptor on a neighboring neuron, generating a signal in it, thereby transmitting the information to that neuron. The major reward pathways involve transmission of the neurotransmitter dopamine from the ventral tegmental area, the VTA, of the midbrain to the limbic system and the frontal cortex. Engaging in enjoyable activities generates action potentials in dopamine-producing neurons of the VTA. This causes dopamine from the neuron. Dopamine then binds to and stimulates dopamine receptor on the receiving neuron. This stimulation by dopamine is believed to produce the pleasurable feelings or rewarding effects. Dopamine molecules are then removed from the synaptic space and transported back into the transmitting neuron by a special protein called dopamine transporter. Most drugs of abuse increase the level of dopamine in the reward pathway. Some drugs such as alcohol, heroin, and nicotine indirectly excite the dopamine-producing neurons in the VTA so that they generate more action potentials. Cocaine acts at the nerve terminal. It binds to dopamine transporter and blocks the reuptake of dopamine. Methamphetamine, a psychostimulant, acts similarly to cocaine in blocking dopamine removal. In addition, it can enter the neuron into the dopamine-containing vesicles, where it triggers dopamine release even in the absence of action potentials. Different drugs act in different ways, but the common outcome is that dopamine builds up in the synapse to a much greater amount than normal. This causes a continuous stimulation, maybe overstimulation of.
Hey, Salaki, so you see what it's doing to your mind, right? Being addicted to certain drugs, right? Right, and they even did studies on the same thing, with people that so-called addicted to pornography, right? They say it messes with the dopamine levels in your brain, right? So that's why people, it may feel like you gotta, if you addicted to alcohol, it might feel like you gotta drink all the time just to get in a good mood, right? Right? It might feel like that you gotta take that certain drug just to be in a good mood, right? Just to be able to go to sleep, right? And a lot of us that used to even smoke weed, right? That used to happen to a lot of us. Hey, it was one point in time when I used to smoke, right? It felt like I couldn't do nothing unless I smoked, right? And I couldn't go to sleep at night unless I hit the blunt, right? As soon as I wake up in the morning, hey, the first thing on my mind is smoking, right? I can't even eat unless I smoke, right? So that's what it does to your brain, right? It literally destroys your mind, right? So let's finish the last minute of this video.
Of receiving neurons and is responsible for prolonged and intense euphoria experienced by drug users. Repeated exposure to dopamine surges caused by drugs eventually desensitizes the reward system. The system is no longer responsive to everyday stimuli. The only thing that is rewarding is the drug. That is how drugs change the person's life priority. After some time, even the drug loses its ability to reward, and higher doses are required to achieve the rewarding effect. This ultimately leads to drug overdose.
Right, you see that? That's why you got a lot of people, right? They develop a so-called like you said, like what's it called when you take a drug a certain amount of time and you get used to it, a tolerance, right? Right, they build a tolerance where they take this drug, and at some point the normal amount that they used to take is not strong enough, so they got to increase the dosage, and they keep going up and up until at one point, you might get to an overdose, right, and it might cost you your life, right? You see that? So let me matter of fact, Ephraim, can you pull up the next video, and Kazak, can you bring that out in Exodus chapter 20? We gonna start at verse 1 and we gonna read down to 5.
God. It's the book of Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. And it says, "And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am Yahawah thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage." Verse 3, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me."
So let's stop right there. I mean, that's the main thing. Thou shalt not have no other gods or powers before me, right? And a lot of people that's suffer from these addictions, that's literally going into idolatry because they put that drug or that pornography or that lust above the Lord, because that literally becomes their power, right? They can't function without it, right? A lot of people suffer from drugs, and like I said, they can't even get in a good mood unless they take that drug, right? It says, "Thou shalt have no other powers before me," right? A lot of people get their power from that drug, right? A lot of people feel like they can't function without that drug, right? Like I said, you have people in the truth that suffer from the same thing, and we know people, right? You might be in the truth one day, but secretly behind closed doors, and you can't put away that weed, and eventually it's gonna overtake you. Like I said, if the Lord see that you serving anything else more than him, and he gonna give you over to your own flesh, right? And he gonna allow Satan to overtake you, right? Hey, like I said, we ain't gonna say no names, but I literally know brothers like that, right? You got a brother, right? He come to camp, right? The brother in the camp, right? He come into class. Then next thing you know, hey, the brother start getting inconsistent, right? And then he might disappear for a certain amount of time, and brothers be hitting him up like, "Hey, where you at? What's going on?" And you know what start? And he start with certain excuses, right? Well, I can't make it to camp, man. I got COVID, right? I got leg pain, I got back pain, right? And then eventually, hey, the brother he ain't gonna come around no more. He gonna say, "Well, I'm officially leaving the camp," right? Because secretly behind closed doors, he can't put away that weed, right? And he was probably reading 5-6 chapters a day, right? But then it slowly went down. He slowly started to decrease in the spirit, right? Right? And he probably used to pray 5, 6, 7 times a day, but slowly it started to decrease. Right? Some people give more time to that drug and to that pornography than they do in serving the Lord. And the Lord go give you over to your own flesh. Because you want to continue to follow after the lust of your flesh. Right? Brother probably spend all day 10, 12 hours getting high and only spending 20 minutes actually reading and studying the scriptures. And then you slowly go start to decrease in this truth. Right? And the Most High go get you up out of here. He go allow Satan to sit you out. Right? So the Lord said, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me," right? So read on.
Verse 4. It says, "Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth." Verse 5. "Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them."
Right, so let's stop right there. And when it says thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, that don't always have to be literal. That can be spiritual. A lot of people bow down to that drug that they can't stop using, right? A lot of people bow down to that pornography and fornication, right? And sexual immorality, right? Whatever you give most of your time and your energy to, right? You done made that your God, right? The more time that you spend following after the lust of your flesh, that's the less time you go spend with walking with the Lord, right? Like we read about in Genesis chapter 6 with Noah. It says that Noah walked with the Lord, and he was perfect, right? And he was a just man, right? But the more and more time that you spend after following and lust after the lust of your flesh, right? That's the less time you go spend with the Lord, right? Finish off verse 5, and then we go get to that 1 Corinthians chapter 3.
It says, "Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahawah, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me."
Right. So let me hey Shalak, can you give me Matthew 17 to 18? And Ephraim, can you can play the next 2 videos that I sent you, right? Because we went over the drug part, but now we go lean more towards the pornography and lust part, right? So we already seen the side effects. Hold on, let me finish real quick. So we already went over the symptoms and the side effects of what these different drugs do to your brain, right? And now we go into this pornography part, right? So let's you had something to say?
Con, I just wanted to. I was trying to bring it up earlier, but I couldn't find it. But this is how bad, like, see, one thing that drugs does to your brain, right? It shoots up those endorphins and it gives you that crazy feeling. And like crackheads or dope heads or meth fiends, they're always constantly trying to chase that initial high that they got when they first got it, right? When they do heroin, when they, snort coke, whatever kind of drugs that you do. But this is a crazy video that I actually found the other day, and it's sad, but it is what it is. This will show you exactly what our people do. Can y'all see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
This is 149th Street. Grand Concourse. Transfer is available to Class 2 and 5 trains.
New York, New York, New York, New York.
What is she smoking though?
She done cleared the whole section out.
What was that? A cigarette?
That lady is smoking a crack pipe in the middle of a New York City subway.
Damn, what? Hold on, let me.
That's what she's doing. She's smoking a crack pipe.
Oh, I see it now. Y'all had to zoom in. Wow.
And this is you can't tell me that our people are not destroyed. And this is when it gets so bad. Like, she is smoking a crack pipe in the middle of, like, I've seen brothers, sisters, they'll light up some blunts, but crack? Really? That's like your recreational drug.
Right.
Like right in the middle of, like it ain't nothing. And it's sad.
Kind it is, right? Hey, you got that other video?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, we gonna play these next two videos first, and then we gonna go through these precepts, right? So before we get to this 1 Corinthians chapter 3, right, we gonna bring this out, right? So like the brother just showed you, right? Going into those certain drugs that our people are addicted to, right? So we gonna bring it out, right? So now we going into we shifting from the drug addiction part, and now we going to the porn addiction, right? Because you got people and I didn't even know this could be an addiction. I thought addiction automatically had to be associated with drugs, right? But this is something I've been studying on. Now they got a so-called porn addiction, right? You got people that's addicted to pornography, right? Right? You might have brothers that's still in the truth, that's dealing with this, right? You got sisters that's in the truth that's dealing with pornography and masturbation and fornication, right? Right. So we go get into it. So you want to read the this title? Induced. Right. So it says porn induced erectile dysfunction, right? So we gonna have this lady, she go explain what that's going into, right? So cause you might have some people, and we go get into it, right? You might have some people in some congregations that might justify this stuff. They might tell you, well, yeah, it's okay, right? Ain't nothing wrong with, watching porn and masturbation and smoking weed and, certain stuff like that, right? Right, but we go break it down for the people, right? So let's play this video.
Porn-induced erectile dysfunction. Number one, what is erectile dysfunction that is induced by pornography? as you go back to the screen, it is giving your brain this massive neurochemical release. So it makes your brain feel good. It makes your brain feel numb. It helps you escape from the stressors of the world. But it's flooding your central nervous system. So your brain is being flooded with these neurochemicals and it is frying out the reward center. The more you consume, the reward center in your brain is adapting. And over time, you need more and more and more to get the same level of reward. So then there's a trickle down effect to your peripheral nervous system. It is in your nether region. So when you are engaging in pornography and you're coupling it with a masturbation habit, you're basically frying out the nerves in your penis.
Right? You see that? You see that? So, hey, I'm gonna tell you straight up, anybody that's telling you that it's okay, to partake in these acts, hey, you need to run far away from these people, right? So you gonna have, if you continue in this madness, you gonna have so-called, what they call erectile dysfunction, right? Right? Now let's play that next video, right?
And look, for women also,
Mhm.
women, the same thing happens with women, right? Like, she's going to explain it right now why erectile dysfunction starts happening with men.
Mhm.
And,
I'm
then
gonna,
they got, huh?
it's a lot. I'm gonna explain that part too.
Oh, okay, Con. You're going to catch the women, right?
Oh, most definitely. Con.
God.
And we gotta wake up the brothers and the sisters, man.
Does masturbation cause erectile dysfunction? Unfortunately, masturbation absolutely can lead to erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, and delayed ejaculation. We know that more young men are struggling with porn-induced erectile dysfunction from masturbation that is coupled to pornography. When you develop a compulsive masturbation habit, you are giving your brain excessive mental and physical stimulation, and it fries out the reward center in your brain, which means that you need this heightened level of arousal to be able to feel aroused. And what happens is when you go to be with a partner and you are not getting that level of mental or physical stimulation, because being with a partner isn't the same as watching porn or fantasizing, and it isn't the same as masturbating. It's lower levels of mental and physical stimulation.
Y'all heard that part? Hey, they said it get to the point where your brain is programmed to find more pleasure in watching damn pornography videos than it would be than being with an actual person. You see that? Right? I mean, that's madness. They literally, for those who can't, understand what's going on, they literally using this to program you to damn dehumanize you, right? So literally, it programs your mind to find more satisfaction in pleasing yourself than actually being with a partner, than a man being with a woman or a woman being with a man, right? So let's bring this out in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, right? Because like I said, you still got people out here talking about, well, show me in the law where I can't smoke weed, or where I can't watch porn, and I can't do this and that. What if I'm, you got brothers, well, what if I'm in the truth and I don't got a wife? I can't do this. No, brother, you can't do that, brother. Right? You got woman in the truth. Well, what if I'm not married and I don't got a husband? I can't do. No, you can't do that, right? So let's bring this out in 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16, right?
Con. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you?
So let's stop right there. So the Lord said that we are the temple, right? The temple is not talking about an actual building. The Lord said that we are his temple. and that the Spirit of the Lord is supposed to dwell within us, right? How is the Spirit of the Lord gonna dwell in you and you destroying your lungs with damn smoke, right? Talking about, well, show me in the law where I can't smoke weed. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, in these last days, we gotta stop being simple, right? A lot of these niggas gotta stop being simple, right? People try to justify their own wickedness, right? Well, I don't see in the law where I can't smoke weed, or I can't see in the law where I can't do this and that. Hey, if we have to go into the law and show you where you can't smoke weed, then brother, you just being damn simple. You're not gonna see that in the law. You're not gonna see in the Torah where it says, "Thou shalt not smoketh the weed, thou shalt not sniffeth the coat." It's not gonna say that. I mean, we got to stop being simple. A lot of niggas just like being simple as hell, right? So we got to break it down for the people because a lot of people want to be simple, right? You ain't gonna see that, right? The true servants of the Lord, you ain't got to explain to us. You ain't got to go into the Torah and show me a scripture that say, "Thou shalt not sniff coke, and thou shalt not smoke weed, and thou shalt not do A, B, and C." You ain't got to do that because we got wisdom in these last days. The true servants of the Lord. You ain't gotta show me that in the law, right? You can pick up a book. You can do your own research, right? Right. So it's not. I mean, it's playing upon tables. It's not rocket science. It don't take rocket science for you to know that smoking anything can destroy your lungs, right? You can get lung cancer, right? You can get all type of upper respiratory problems, right? So let's matter of fact, can you read that again, King? Verse 16.
Verse 16, know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you?
Verse 17.
Verse 17, if any man defile the temple of the Most High,
Let's stop right there. If any man or woman defile the temple, which is you, your body, right? You are the temple, right? We just read that in verse 16. So if any man, a matter of fact, Ephraim, can you go into that word defile? Can we pull up that word defile and go into the
Strong's
definitions?
G 5351. Thyro.
And it says to corrupt, to destroy, to lead away, to be destroyed, to perish, to shrivel or wither.
Oh, hey, that's a good. Hey, matter of fact, hey,
that's what happens when you be spanking that monkey too hard. You make him shrivel up.
Hey, this can't be more perfect. Hey, let's keep. Hey, so hey, hey, but keep that definition that you got up. Let's keep that right there for the people to see. Well, I mean, this. Hey, we gotta break it down for the brothers and sisters that want to be simple, right? Hey, the Lord said, if any man defile the temple of God, right, him shall God destroy, right? So if you defiling yourself, you're gonna be destroyed. If you defiling yourself with smoking weed, right, taking all these other type of drugs, right, you got a drinking problem, right? You can't put down the alcohol, right? You suffer from a pornography addiction that literally destroys your temple, which is your body. And we just went over the ways how it destroys your mind, right? It destroys your mind. It can destroy your lungs. It can literally destroy your private area, right? Like the brother was saying, like we just seen the videos with people that's addicted to pornography and masturbation. They suffer from damn erectile dysfunction, right? So if one day, if you a man and you actually get into a marriage with a sister, right? You can't even damn perform because your joint, you got erectile dysfunction, right? So your joint not even go work, right? And it destroys your mind. So now you more fascinated with pleasing yourself than you are with being with an actual person, right? That's how Satan worked with his devices, right? That's how he manipulates your mind, right? So these things destroy your body. It destroys your mind, your spirit, right? It can destroy your organs, right? It can destroy your reproductive organs, like the brother was talking about, even with the women, right? A lot of these women don't understand, right? And like I said, hey, we gonna keep it 100 tonight, right? We gonna be bold through the spirit, right? We ain't gonna hold our tongue tonight, right? Even with the women, when it comes to pleasing themselves, and these women be using these so-called sex toys, and hey, they be using this joint called the right. They got the rose joint. I keep hearing women talk about the rose, right? Hey, we gonna keep it 100 tonight, right? And you probably got some brothers on here. Hey, what you know about that, brother? Brother, you talking about the rose, but what you know about that, brother? Hey, we live life, man. And we see what's going on out here in these streets. We not stupid. We see what's going on in the media, right? We hear Eve talk about it at work. We hear Eve talk about it on social media, in the public, right? Our ears always to the streets. We know what's going on out here, right? You got these women playing with these damn sex toys, right? Destroying their private area, right? The Lord said, if any man defile the temple of God, what's gonna happen?
Salakia. If any man defile the temple of the Most High, him shall God destroy.
Right? So him shall God destroy, right? That's why a lot of brothers will show me in the law why the Lord I said I can't smoke weed. Hey, brother, if you end up getting lung cancer, who fault is that? Right? You end up getting one of your damn lungs collapse. Who fault is that? Right? Well, show me in the law where the Lord said I can't listen and I can't watch pornography, and okay, brother, when you end up getting erectile dysfunction and your joint don't even work no more, hey, who fault is that? Right? Even when you do research on these women, they be using these damn electronic devices to please themselves, right? They got studies that say that destroys, these women be getting damn what they call it, nerve damage, right? They be getting all types of vaginal nerve damage, right? Right? They destroying their private parts, right? These are Satan's devices that destroys your body, right? So let's read down to verse 18.
Con. Do you want to repeat 17?
Yeah, let's finish 17 and let's read 18.
Con. For the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple ye are. Verse 18. Let no man deceive himself.
So let's stop right there. Hey, we got to stop deceiving ourselves. A lot of our people suffer from damn cognitive dissonance, where they know the things that they're doing is wrong, but they don't want to accept it, right? They don't want to hear people, well, what you mean I can't? Well, show me in the Torah why I can't do this and I can't do that. But if I had to explain to you that having a drug addiction and smoking anything, right, what it does to your body, then obviously you don't have wisdom, right? Right? Like I said, you can go on the internet and do your own research. You can pick up a book and do your own research, right? We just showed you all the things, what it does to the human body, right? How it destroys your brain, right? How it destroys your lungs, right? Your kidneys, your liver, right? Your reproductive organs, right? Right? So let's finish verse 18.
Con. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise.
right? So we go let these people become a fool, right? When they end up with erectile dysfunction and lung cancer, and they suffering from all different types of things from these drugs that they taking, hey, we go let them become a fool. Hey, we warned you, right? Right. So let me get hey Ethan, can you pull up that next video? Hey, this next video was crazy. And Shalat, did I have you with something?
Matthew 17:18.
Hey, Kazak, um can you give me 1 Corinthians 7 and verse 2?
Con.
All right, we're gonna read that in 1 Corinthians 7 and verse 2. Let's bring that up.
Con, this is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 2. And it says, nevertheless, to avoid fornication.
So let's stop right there. Hey Ephraim, now I want you to pull up that word for fornication. And a lot of people don't recognize this, right? We go show you the Greek word for fornication.
Strong's G 4202. Parnaya. Parnaya.
Right, you see that? Hey, can you go back up to that word at the top? What is the root of that word? What do you see?
Strong's G 4202. Parnaya. Parnaya.
Right? Pornaya. What does that sound like?
Strong's G 4203. Parnuo. Parnuo.
Right? What does that sound like? Right? Hey, that's where they get this modern day pornography from, right? All this goes back to fornication, right? You see that? Right? Adultery, fornication, homosexuality, lesbianism, intercourse with animals, right? You see that? And the Lord said, avoid fornication, right? And that's what take place on these pornography videos, right? You got adultery, you got whoredom, right? Women that sleep with multiple men. You got so-called child pornography, right? When you got children being sex trafficked, right? You got homosexuals, men with men, woman with woman, all type of madness, man, right? So the Lord said, avoid fornication, right? So let's read on.
Con. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife.
Right, so let's stop right there. So brothers, well, what am I supposed to do? Right? What if I'm not married and I gotta do what I gotta do? No, brother, you need to get yourself together. That's what you need to do, right? And pray to the Lord and ask him to send you a righteous woman, right? And even that, when it comes to marriage, that shouldn't be the first thing on your mind, right? The first thing on your mind, like the brother brought it out in Sirach, the brother in the chat, right? It says desire, that scripture in Sirach, right? The paraphrase it said, desire not a woman for her beauty, right? Or for a pleasure, right? Right? If you looking for he brought it up, Sirach 25:21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. Right? You shouldn't desire to be married just for pleasure, right? That shouldn't be the first thing on your mind, right? Even if you're a woman, that shouldn't be the first thing on your mind, right? 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 If you want to be married, you need to ask the Lord, if you a man, to send you a righteous woman, right? To send you a pillar of rest, a helpmeet, right? If you a woman, right, you need to ask the Lord to send you a man that's gonna lead you and guide you, right, and protect you, right, and teach you how to keep the laws and commandments, right? So let's finish verse 2. I mean verse where you at, verse 2?
Verse 2, come.
Come.
It says, nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband.
Right? You see that? You see how that's contrary to what take place in the world today, right? It says let every man have his own wife, but in today's world, you got men sleeping with other men's wives, right? You got men sleeping with other men and women sleeping with other women, right? Read on.
Come, verse 3. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife.
Right.
Verse 5. Defraud ye not one the other,
Right. So
except
the Lord, so the Lord said the man or the husband have not power over his own body, but the wife, and then vice versa with the wife, right? It says defraud ye not one another, right? So that's why the Lord said in Hebrews 13:4, he said marriage is honorable, right? And the bed undefiled, right? So if you struggling, with lust, right? Hey, you need to get yourself together so that the Lord can send you a righteous woman, right? Even if you are a woman, right? And the Lord can send you a righteous man, right? But you got to continue to move in the spirit, right? Um, verse, finish verse 5. It's Salat, you got that Matthew 17 and 18.
Con.
All right, let's finish verse 5.
Come, verse 5. Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer.
Right,
And
to fasting and prayer, right? That's the most important part. And we go back and answer that sister question with that, right? So let's
come,
finish that off.
that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your how do you say that?
And contingency.
Incontinency.
Incontinency. Hey, Salaki at the water can.
Come on, right? So it says that Satan tempts you not, right? It says for fasting and prayer, right? And we go into that fasting and praying, right? So let's get that Matthew 17 and verse 18. We go into that fasting and praying. Hey, Ethan, you think you could pull up that sister question again one more time?
Hey, Shalati, can I get this precept real quick? Yahshua, you got the book of Tobit on your list?
La.
All right, Khan. This is the book of Tobit, chapter 8 and verse 6. Real quick, Mahav, you could put it up there. The book of Tobit, chapter 8 and verse 6. And this lesson is very heavy that the brother is going into. And it's important that we realize the devices, even on these cell phones, the over sexualizing of the beast system, that they did to destroy us. But this is the book of Tobit, chapter 8 and verse 6. It says, Thou madest Adam and gavest him Eve, his wife, for an helper and stay. Of them came mankind. Thou hast said, It is not good that man should be alone. Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself. Verse 7. And now, O power, I take not this my sister for lust, but uprightly. And that's the point that I want. A lot of these relationships, not even marriages, these relationships and situationships, they come about by lust. What this woman looked like, You understand? What a body parts, you know, oh, she looked good today. Look at how she's dressed. You know, we're never securing our mate based on what is inside of that person's mind. You know what I mean? What's their emotional level like? You know, how can they complete me and in my fulfillment of serving my creator? You know, what is this woman's faith like? You see, that is all based off of attraction and what she can do sexually. Well, sexually that don't last long. The flesh don't last long, and you see that's why there's so many failed marriages and failed relationships. You know, so we got to understand this wisdom here, and stop taking women, stop taking men for just lust, and start to look at the broader picture, and start to take men and women that are occupied in keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, because now you have a helpmeet that's going to keep you away from polluting your eyes. You know what I mean? You got a helpmeet that's going to secure you in your walk, you know, as a woman, in your faith and stability and protection when it comes to you serving the Most High. You know, so all of these things go hand in hand. That's why we need one another. You know, like that scripture you just brought out. We must take a wife, you know, for ourselves if we're thinking about any type of pleasure. Or you got the game messed up all the way around the board. All right. But I just wanted to bring that out real quick. Powerful lesson.
And that's a powerful point that the cap just brought out, because stuff like that happen even in the truth. Right? You got brothers in the truth that might be courting a sister, and low key they might be like, you know what? Dang, she ain't really, you know what I'm saying? She kind of off a little bit. She don't really keep the commandments like that. But you know what? Damn, she fine as hell though, boy. Hey, the hell with that, right? I know she don't keep the commandments like that, but hey, she fine. I need that, right? And likewise with the woman, she might be like, dang, this brother kind of off, but hey, he's 6'5", right? He got waves, right? He light skinned, he got tattoos, right? And now your mind is polluted. Now you didn't got in a relationship and a marriage with somebody, right, based off their physical appearance, right? But you're not even in love with that person personality or their characteristics or their spirit, right? You just in love with what you see on the outside, right? So let's bring this out of Matthew 17 to 18. It's I'm gonna try to cut through some of this. Hey, Kazak, you still there in 1 Corinthians 7?
Okay.
Yeah, I might have you finish that off. I might have you go down to verse 9. But let me bring this out in Matthew 17 to 18 first.
I got it when you're ready, Ak.
All right, I'm ready, King.
Matthew 17 and 18. And Yahawah rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him. And the child was cured from that very hour.
So let's stop right there. So, hey, if you struggling with any kind of evil thoughts, hey, you got to rebuke Satan. Like I said, that's just Satan trying to manipulate your mind and your spirit, right? If you even have a thought about going off, right, and falling into lust, idolatry, right, and you got to rebuke that thought, right? You got to rebuke Satan, right? Read on.
Then came the disciples to Yahawah apart and said, why could we not cast him out?
So let's stop right there. So they said, hey, why couldn't we cast him out, right? And some brothers and sisters they might be thinking like that. They might say, damn, well, I've been trying to stop, smoking weed for a minute now, but I can't. Dang, what I gotta do? I've been trying to stop, but I can't stop. Or I've been trying to stop, fornicating, but I can't stop. Or I've been trying to stop watching pornography and masturbation, but I can't stop. I just can't stop. Right? But let's see what the Lord said. Read on.
And Yahawah said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed. Ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you.
Right, you see that even one of the main scriptures they bring out in church is Philippians 4:13. Right, you say I can do all things through whom Mashiach will strengtheneth me. Right, so the reason why a lot of our people can't overcome that lust is because they don't have enough faith. Right, so you got to confess your faults unto the Lord. Right, you got to pray to the Lord and ask Him to increase your faith. Right, right. So let's finish reading.
Con, howbeit, this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting.
Right, so even the Lord said, "Hey, this type of spirit, it might not leave, but through prayer and fasting." That's not just praying one time and fasting every once in a while, and you just go get rid of that spirit. Right, a lot of us was dealing with some of these spirits before we came into truth, since a child, right, at a young age. That's not just something that's just go hop off of you in the blink of an eye, right? And you gotta, if you fast one time, that's not enough. You gotta fast every week, multiple times a week, right? You can't pray 3 times a day and be like, you know what? Hey, I got that spirit off me. I should be good now. No, brother, that spirit go come back, right? Hey, Satan go keep coming back. Satan ain't go give up, right? So you got to continue. Hey, if you pray 3 times a day, you might have to pray 10 times a day, 15 times a day, 20 times a day. Right? You might have to fast multiple times every week. Right? You might have to confess your faults to your brothers. Right? If you're in a congregation and you got elders, you might have to go to leadership to get counsel. Right? Anything that you got to do to get these spirits off you, and you got to do that because we in the last days and we ain't got much time left. Right? So, Lord willing, that answered, that sister question, right? About Salaki. Ethan, can you pull it up one more time? That question from the sister. Right. It says lust is evil and wicked. So how do you strengthen weak flesh? Right. And we just read it through praying and fasting, right? If you got people around you that's in this truth, and you might have to confess your faults to your brothers and sisters, right? Right. Even in this camp, I don't know how brothers do it in other camps, but in this camp, sometimes we have things what we call it a camp fast, where we pick one day out the week and everybody in the camp do a fast together, right? And we pray for one another, right? Sometimes your prayers might not be enough. Sometimes you might have to have other people pray for you, right? And we got to pray. I pray for all my brothers and sisters, right? Right. So, hey, that's how we go get these spirits off of us, through fasting and praying, right? And not just praying for yourself, but praying for other people, right? Other people got to pray for you. Other people got to fast with you, right? So let's get
a quick precept.
Calm, most definitely.
You got Matthew 12 in there. Let's go to Matthew 12 real quick. Let me pull it up. 12 and I'm gonna start at 43. Let me pull it up.
Calm. Salaki, real quick. Kazak, you got 1 Corinthians. Hey, Shalak, can you give me Genesis 1 and 27?
Con.
Right. I'm gonna cut through some of this, try to get to the point. And Anya, can you give me Romans 1 and 24?
Con.
All right, go ahead, Ethan.
So, like the brother was saying, like you got to fast and pray this stuff off, right? So we go to Matthew 12:43, and what he's talking about, you'll pretty much understand it. It says, when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. Right? Because when that unclean spirit was in you, right, you sort of find that false equivalency of fulfillment, right? And when that unclean spirit comes out of you, right, through praying and fasting, then now you have a void that needs to be filled, right? So I'm gonna keep going. It says, then he saith, I will return into my house from whence I came out. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, right? So that same house or your same temple that you just cleaned out, right? If you don't continue with the praying and the fasting and the discipline, of course, then what's going to happen is that you're going to have 7 more spirits that are going to be even more wicked. So before you were watching porn, right? Just the regular stuff. So now you're watching porn, you're watching bestiality stuff. You're doing even more things to fulfill that void that you just left behind. And that's all I had.
Khan, that was a powerful point, that the brother brought out, right? So like I said, you can't just fast and at one time and expect Satan to stop coming at you, right? Hey, if he see you trying to go hard for the Lord, guess what? He gonna go even harder, right? And he gonna keep coming at you until you fold up. But you gotta have the spirit and you gotta have the discipline where you ain't go fold up, right? So let's finish this off. 1 Corinthians 7 and
I think I'm on 6.
Let's jump to verse 7.
Okay, come.
And we're gonna read down to 9, and that's gonna be it.
Come. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 7. For I would that all men were even as I myself, but every man hath his proper gift of the Most High, one after this manner, and another after that. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I.
So let's stop right there. So even Paul said, hey, if you got enough discipline over your own spirit, hey, just focus on serving the Lord and doing the work. He said, as abide as I, right? If you can do it, right? If you got that spirit, everybody ain't got that spirit, right? Hey, Paul said, if you just want to focus on serving the Lord, right, and pleasing the Lord, hey, I would, want you to do as I, right? But everybody can't do that, right? So let's finish that off.
Verse 9. But if they cannot contain.
But if they could not contain, right? Because like I said, everybody can't contain. Everybody can't be like Paul, right? Everybody can't be like Yahawah, right? Read on.
But if they cannot contain, let them marry. For it is better to marry than to burn.
Right? It is better to marry than to burn, right? Because some people burning in the lust of their own flesh, right? And some people can't contain, right? So like I said, hey, if you're a brother and you dealing with stuff like that, hey, build yourself up in the spirit, hey, continue to fast and pray, right? And to the point where you can have control and discipline over your own spirit and pray that the Lord, send you a righteous woman, right? So let me get that. Matter of fact, Ephraim, can you pull out that next video? And Shalak, you got Genesis 1 and 28. And hey Kazak, can you give me let me see something real quick. So I'm gonna have to jump around a little bit. Kazak, can you give me 1 Corinthians 6 and 9? Yeah, because we gonna go a little after the 2-hour mark, but it's all good because I'm gonna cut down. I'm gonna cut through some of this. All right, let's matter of fact, let's play that video.
What do you know about altruistic sex toys?
So let's stop right there. So let's
Have you ever heard of
hey Ephraim, if you could, can you read the title off real quick while I find this precept?
Khan, the title for all my people says, my first VR or virtual reality sexual experience.
Right. So do you see this madness that's taking place right now? Do you see what the world is coming to? And that's why we're trying to warn our people. In these last days, we have to separate from all this sexual immorality, right? All this lust, right? All the pleasing your flesh, right? Pornography, masturbation. Because if you continue to go deeper and deeper into that rabbit hole, this is where it's gonna lead you to, right? It says my first virtual reality sex experience. So this is what Esau is into now, right? And you thought porn was bad. You thought they got the damn Playboy magazines and stuff like that. Hey, they got them virtual reality, right? Where you can put on the damn goggles and you go be in the damn virtual world, having sex in a virtual world. This is where this place is coming to, right? So hey, and like I said, we go get the viewers a heads up. Hey, this video kind of crazy, right? Right? But this is what happens in Esau's kingdom. So let's play this video.
Dildomics.
No.
What do you know about futuristic sex toys?
Futuristic sex toys?
Have you ever heard of teledildomics?
No.
This is a teledildonic vibrator.
Okay.
Turn it on.
That looks like your average dildo.
Now, you can either control it yourself and make that thing whirl inside your girl or buzz on your clit, whatever tickles your pickle.
Your girl.
But if you connected this via...
Damn, she said tickle your pickle.
Hey,
I didn't know women had pickles.
Hey, man, look, hey. This is the madness, man, that take place in this world, man. Right?
the associated app
right.
with whoever you want to play with. They can control that from a distance.
I'm just baffled how advanced all toys are getting now. It's like, it's insane.
But Alex has more up her cyber sex sleeve.
Now, how do you feel about virtual reality?
Well, I've never done it, obviously. Don't tell me we're going to do it.
May I have your consent to share an intimate, non-touching virtual experience together?
Okay.
Putting the X-rated in experience.
Okay.
Angelina Alexandrovich is trialing a revolutionary new sensory experience.
If you want to give me your arms.
Using virtual reality to rate our arousal levels. And today we're testing it out on each other. Alex is going to be the giver.
I'm coming for you, Haley.
And I'll be the receiver.
Give it to me, baby.
Meaning we'll be able to interact in our virtual world.
Open up your senses.
Oh my God, this is spinning me out. Right, what's happening now?
You look like a weird wire mannequin.
Alex is able to stimulate my body through sensors attached to me. And as we
You
meet
see
in
that?
cyberspace,
She said,
I'll be honest, I'm feeling more
hey, hold on. She said she can stimulate your body, right? Through this damn technology, right? Hey, let me bring this out real quick, man. This is madness, man.
Hebrews
Hey,
12 and 16.
You got that?
I was about to pull that up.
Hey, matter of fact, because I had that, but like I said, I'm going to skip through it a little bit. Matter of fact, you can bring that out now, but I had something else, but I was going to get to that too if you want to bring it out. So let me bring this out real quick. This 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Hey, so in these last days, the servants of the Lord, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Right? That's all this stuff is. All this so-called sex toys, all this pornography, all this, they got damn virtual reality sex. This is Satan's devices. All these devices are created to pollute the minds of our people. Right? That's all this is. Satan's devices. Right? You want to bring that out in Hebrews?
Con. This is crazy.
Right? And
This is
Salaki, because like I said, at the end of the day, they don't want our people to meditate on the laws and commandments. They want you to meditate on three things: sex, money, and drugs. That's what's promoted in this wicked world, right? Salaki, bring that out, King.
Con. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and verse 16. It says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau."
So let's stop right there. And we know Esau. We already know who Esau talking about, right? We know who that is, right? What other nation came up with virtual reality, right? They got damn virtual reality sex, man. I mean, it don't get no more maddening than that, right? That's how you know who Esau's talking about, right? I got an echo coming from somewhere, right? So you already know who that's talking about. It says profane person and fornicator as Esau. Ain't Esau the one that's in control of all this? Ain't he the one that's pushing laws where you can be a homosexual and you can have same sex marriage and you can damn, they trying to pass pedophilia laws, right? Who you think is in control of all these so-called pornography corporations? It's the so-called Jewish man, right? The synagogue of Satan, right? So Esau's in control of all this, right? Hey, matter of fact, hey, you know what's crazy? I remember a couple weeks ago when we was out there on Glenwood teaching. I think damn, who the hell was teaching? I think matter of fact, I think it was Shu that was teaching, and then he was teaching about fornication, and there was an Edomite that walked past. He said, "Yeah, that's my favorite word." He said,
Con.
"Fornication." He said, "That's my favorite word, fornication." Right, and that was the spirit that made him say that. That was the Lord that made him say that. Right. So we know who this talking about. Literally, the damn Edomite said, "Hey, that's my favorite word. It's fornication." Right. So that just goes to show you where the mind of the Edomites is, man. Right. They literally meditate on all type of sexual immorality, man. Right. So, Laki, can you go ahead and bring it out?
Con. This is Hebrews 12 and 16. It says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright." That's all I wanted to bring out. Just Esau is the most profane and wicked fornicator out there, man. It's crazy.
Right.
Hey,
And matter of fact,
It's
let's
a
go
lot
to
there real quick, and that's heavy. You're right. That damn devil did say that. That damn that's my favorite word, fornication. I'm a fornicator, you know,
right.
because if you think about it, man, this damn devil is so weak, and he put that spirit on our people, you know, because they can't produce the way we produce. Their woman desire, you know, another man other than what they've been given. You know what I'm saying? They're not pleasing their mates, you know. So they got to kind of come over to the other side of the bridge and pollute us, you know, and over sexualize, you know, our people, you know, and our young women coming up in all levels of promiscuity, you know. So these are attacks that has been given to our people through the pharmaceutical companies, through their programs of, you know, these shots that they've been giving our people, all of these things to pollute our bodies and our minds, you know, so we can't come back and serve our creator, you know, just like going into the law, you know, in the commandments, not to have no other God before me. The brother went into a heavy point with that Greek word right there, you know. When you look at all of the list of the gods that deal with sexual immorality, you'll see they're all Greek gods. You see, so this is heavy what these people have done to our nature. you know, and over sexualize our people, man. But that's heavy, man. These damn bastards.
Right? And matter of fact, let's read verse 17 on that, right?
God. This is Hebrews 12 and 17. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears.
Right, and that's why Esau has no place of repentance, man. He too wicked and profane, man. I mean, like, hey, the Lord said his sins have reached unto heaven. Like, who even think about stuff like this? Like, what purpose does this serve? Like, this is all vanity. What purpose does that serve to have virtual reality sex, man? I mean, that's madness. Like, who even thinks about coming up with technology like this? But Esau, right? So let's finish. Hey, listen, we gotta finish that video, man. This joint crazy. We gotta finish that video.
Anxious and aroused.
Are you ready?
I can't do it.
But it's the big finish that's blowing my mind.
Oh shit! Now it's getting really naughty. This is the most freakiest shit I've seen in my life. This is filth. All I've seen is mannequins flat out having sex, like. Whew. That was the most bizarre experience of my entire life. What the hell?
You see that? That's called Satan's devices, man. That's Satan's devices, right? That is madness, man. This is what the world is coming to, right?
Hey, Salakia, when you think of like The Walking Dead, right, you're going to have people walking down the street with these things on their faces, looking at this
Right.
stuff.
Like I said, they go take it to the next level. They got people that's addicted to pornography, and they go take it to the next level. Instead of watching a pornography video, they go have you damn feel like you damn in the damn video. You gonna put on a damn virtual reality thing, and you gonna be in a damn virtual pornography video, man. That's damn Satan's devices, man. Right?
Hey, it's already set up that way. When you going to the metaverse world, you know, you go up in there and play around, you know, and meet your whole your OnlyFans wife. It's set up that way through the whole OnlyFans system. Now you got your OnlyFans you've been watching for the past 5 years, and now you can have a real life encounter with her on VR for $1,000.
I mean, just when you think it can't get no worse, like
only 1,000.
Just
I
when
was
you think
trying
it
to be
can't.
light about it.
Hey, look, just when you think it can't get no worse, man, Esau always overdo it, man. Right? Hey, but we just want our people to, to get some insight, right? Because this is Satan, right? Satan using his devices to destroy our people. See, all these other nations, they can do this stuff. We don't give a damn about that. If Esau want to do virtual reality and he a fornicator. We already know how Esau get down, but for our people, especially if you in this truth and you know these scriptures, hey, we gotta separate from this in these last days, man. Right? This is madness, man. Let me get that Genesis 1 and 27. Right?
Khan. This is the book of Genesis 1 and 27. So Yahawah created man in his own image. In the image of Yahawah created he him. Male and female created he them.
So let's stop right there, right? This is what it's all about. The Lord created male and female, man. Right? male and female, right? So let's read on.
And Yahawah blessed them, and God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply
So
and
let's stop right
replenish.
there. The Lord said, and be fruitful and multiply. That creates life, a man and a woman in a marriage, right? But that's why they come out with all these things to pollute the minds of our people. Like I said, like Shu brought out, all this is going towards population control. They trying to stop us from reproducing. A man can't reproduce with another man, right? A man can't reproduce if he damn pleasing himself, right? Right? A woman can't reproduce with another woman, right? A woman can't reproduce with a damn sex toy, right? Right? When you do research, even they show you in different studies that people, men that's got a so-called pornography addiction, it lessens their desire to be with a real woman. So now in their mind, they're like, shoot, what I need a woman for, man? I'm gonna watch these videos. I'm gonna please myself. I don't need no woman. And now you got the woman, well, she don't even want the man no more. She like, well, I don't need no man. I got, this virtual reality. Right? I got this toy, right? So she now in her mind, she don't need a man. And now the man in his mind, he don't need a woman. And what does that do? That destroys our nation. Because now people don't have the desire to reproduce because they so used to pleasing themselves, right?
Hey, Salakia, hey, forget about VR. You got Apple Vision now. Hey, you got a whole brother. He could be sitting there watching his wife walk around the living room while he got all of the screens up and all of the different porno scenes that he wants. You know what I mean? He could be as weird as he want to be and still maintain his surroundings.
Hey, that's madness, man. And that's why we gotta separate from this stuff, man. You even got brothers that's trying to justify, well, me and my wife, we like to spice it up. So hey, that brother, that's off. How you justifying you and your wife watching damn videos, your wife looking at another man, right? Getting turned on by another man, right? Getting turned on by another woman. Man, that is off, man. That is madness, man. Right? The Lord said that He created male and female, right, to multiply, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. But Esau don't want us to multiply, right? Esau want the man to please himself with pornography and masturbation, right? Esau want our women to please themselves with so-called sex toys, right? And now she can't even get pleased by a man because she didn't then destroy all the nerves in her private area. So now it's not even pleasing being with a man. And now Jake got damn erectile dysfunction and he don't even desire to be with a woman, right? That destroys the minds of our people, right? So who had that Romans 1:24? I know we kind of going over a little bit, but I'm gonna get a few more.
Con, I had again.
All right, and cause you got that 1 Corinthians 7:6, or was it? No, Salakia 6 and 9.
6 and 9, con.
All right, let's bring that out in Romans first. 1:24.
Con 1:24. It's the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 24. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts.
Salakia. So the Most High, He gonna give you up into your own lust if you keep playing around, right? Hey, if you want to partake in that madness, the Lord go give you over to your own lust, and He go let that overtake you, and then you go be serving that lust more than you serve the Lord, right? Let's read on.
Con. To dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Verse 25. Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie. and worshiped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Verse 26, for this cause the Most High gave them up into vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
Right, so even the woman, they changed that which is against nature, right? A woman's supposed to be with a man and give birth to the seed of man, right? But now you got the woman talking about, well, I don't need a man, I got a rose, right? I got this virtual reality, right? Can't no man do nothing for me, right? You see that? You see how that Satan's devices destroys the minds of our people, right? So let's read on.
Verse 27, and likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burn in their lusts one toward another.
You see that? So now you got men burning their lust one towards another, right? You got men want to be homosexuals now, right? Even you got men that's, well, I don't need a woman, right? I got these porno flicks, right? I don't need a woman. I can use my hand, right? Hey, that's what's going on, man. That's how Esau wanted, right? Ain't nobody reproducing if everybody pleasing themselves, right? Esau trying to get it to the point where the opposite sex not go desire one another, right? So let's finish that off, King.
God, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet.
Right, you see that? And that's what take place in this world today. All this sexual immorality, right? Men with men, right? Right? That's why the Lord said in what's that, Leviticus I think it's 18:3, right? He said, after the ways of Egypt, don't do after the ways of Egypt, right? Or these other nations, that's what they was doing. They was into that homosexuality. When you read the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and they talk about the men having sexual intercourse with little boys, right? That's why the Lord said, Jeremiah 10:1 on down, he said, learn not the ways of the heathen, right? Even today, so-called Valentine's Day, right? You will have all type of whoredom and fornication going on, right? You gonna have people sleeping with each other that's not even gonna be with each other probably by the end of the night, right? That's what the heathens did, man. The Greeks and the Romans, right? They had all type of wicked feasts, right? Like Valentine's Day going into the feast of Lupercalia, right? And for those who's watching, you can do your own research on that. I was gonna go into it a little bit, but we already went over the time, so I'm gonna just breeze through it. But you got all type of wicked Greek and Roman holidays where they had the feast of Bacchus, right, where everybody would get together and they would get drunk and they would have all type of sexual orgies and like Ephraim was going into earlier, you would have married couples. You would a man would allow another man to sleep with his wife, right? You would have men that would let other men sleep with their wives, right? People would get drunk and have all type of orgies, right? That goes into the Greeks and the Romans, right? So let's read on.
God, Salakia. Where was 20?
20. I think you stopped at 28.
God, verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind.
You see that, and a lot of our people got a reprobate mind, right? If you think that smoking weed is good for you and it ain't nothing wrong with it, you got a reprobate mind, right? If you thinking watching pornography and masturbation and pleasing the lust of your flesh is okay, then you got a reprobate mind, right? Just read on.
God, to do those things which are not convenient.
And that's not convenient. How is pleasing yourself convenient? How does that? How do you repopulate the earth and be fruitful and multiply if you pleasing yourself, right? How is watching pornography and masturbation and virtual reality sex and all this madness, homosexuality, how is this convenient, right? Let's read on the verse 29, and that's it.
Verse 29. Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, and whispers.
You see that, right? Even the first few: unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, which goes into lust, right? So, Kazak, can you bring that out in 1 Corinthians 6 and 9?
Come.
And let me, Shalak, can you give me Proverbs 25 and 28?
25,
And,
20.
yeah, 25, 28. And Ephraim, can you give me Luke 22 and 31?
Con, I got you,
Right.
King.
All right, so I'm gonna breeze through these last few, and we gonna close it out. All right, Kazak, can you bring that out? 1 Corinthians.
Come. It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 9. It says, "Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived, neither fornicators."
So let's stop right there. Right. Remember what that word fornication goes into. Right. It says, "Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God?" So if you partake in the things that's listed, you will not inherit the kingdom of God. Right. Fornication. We went into that Greek word, which goes into pornography. Literally, the root word in the Greek for fornication goes into pornography. Right. So if you partake in all these type of immoral sexual acts, and you're not going to inherit the kingdom of God, right? Let's read on.
Come. Neither fornicators, nor idolaters.
So like, let's stop right there. So there again, fornication, idolatry, right? All those things go into drug addictions, pornography addictions. All that is just fornication and idolatry, right? You idolizing fornication, right? So we got to separate from that. Just think about it, right? A lot of people be hypocrites, right? A lot of brothers, well, it ain't nothing wrong with that. But what if that was your daughter on there? What if your daughter was a so-called porn star, right? How would that make you feel, right? She out there exposing herself to the whole world, right? What if you had a family member, your mother, that was partaking in that, right? That's madness. That goes into all different types of whoredom, right? That's why you got these women. They selling their bodies on OnlyFans, and they prostituting on all these different websites, right? So let's read on.
Come. Nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind.
Right. So that goes into all type of sexual immorality, right? Right. Homosexuality, right? Being effeminate, right? Adultery, right? Sleeping with another man's wife, right? So let's jump to this Proverbs 25 and 28. And Kazak, can you give me let me get let me get 1 Corinthians 13 and 11.
Salakia, I was on mute, Salakia.
So let me Shalak, let me get that Proverbs 25 and 28.
This is the book of Proverbs 25 and 28. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
You see that? If you ain't got rule over your own spirit, you like a city that's broken down without walls. That means you ain't got no protection. Anytime Satan or all these types of evil spirits, every time they tempt you and you fall, you fold up, right? You don't have no defense. You don't have no self-discipline, right? Right? So in these last days, we got to separate from all this sexual immorality, right? You really think the Most High God is going to allow you to rule in the kingdom and you can't even rule over your own spirit, right? How you go rule over the world, right? How you go rule over the nations if you can't even rule over your own spirit, right? Every time Satan tempts you, you fold up, right? Satan be whispering in your ear, go ahead, man. Hey, the Lord know you stressed out, right? The Lord know you depressed, right? The Lord know that you got an anxiety, right? Go ahead, hey, just go ahead and hit the blunt one time. He gonna forgive you, right? Right? Go ahead and please yourself this time. He gonna forgive you, right? And the Lord said, if you can't even rule over your own spirit, and how you gonna rule in the kingdom of heaven? How you gonna rule over this earth? How you gonna rule over cities? How you gonna rule over the heathens? Right? So that was it on that. Let me get I'm gonna go to that Luke 22 and 31. And Shalak, can you give me let me get Psalm 101 and verse 1. And Kazak, can you give me Ephesians 6 and 10? All right, I'm ready, Ephraim.
Khan. This is the book of Luke, chapter 22 and verse 31. It said, and the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you.
Shalaki, so let's go into that word desire real quick, right? So it says Satan have desired to have you, right? And Satan desires to have all of us, right? So let's go into that word desire.
Strong's G 1809. Exciteo. Exciteo.
And it means to ask from or demand of. Like he's literally asking the Most High for you.
Right. Just like in the account in Job. Right.
To demand, to desire, for trial.
Right. To demand, to trial. Hey, all of us gonna be tried in the fire, right? Then the Lord said that we gonna be tried like gold in the fire. Right. So Satan desires to have us, right? So let's read on.
God, it says, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat.
That he may sift you as wheat. Hey, that's Satan's job. That's his number one desire, is to take us out of this truth, right? To stop us from serving the Lord, right? Hey, Satan, he gonna keep coming at you, right? Satan ain't gonna take no breaks. Satan, it ain't like he gonna take a nap, right? It ain't like he need no rest, right? It ain't like he go keep coming at you, and he gonna keep coming at you until you fold up. But you gotta have the spirit and you gotta have the might where you ain't go fold up in these last days, right? So keep reading.
Come. It says, but I have prayed for thee.
You see that? And Yahawah said, I have prayed for thee. He told Peter, I have prayed for thee. Like I said earlier, and we can't just pray for ourselves. We got to pray for one another, right? And I pray for all my brothers because your prayers might not be enough, right? Your prayers might not be enough alone, so you got to have brothers pray for you. And you got to pray for your brothers, right? Read on.
It says, but I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren.
Right, you see that? So when you are converted into that new man, you got to strengthen your brethren that's still struggling, right? And that's why the Lord put the Spirit on us to bring out this lesson. At one point in time, all of us used to deal with drug addictions and pornography and all kind of stuff, right? Lust, right? Hey, but the Lord gave us the Spirit and the power to overcome. And he could do the same thing for any brother or sister that's watching this live, right? Or any brother and sister that come across this video, right? And we go pray for all our brothers and sisters that's struggling with drug addictions, right? Fornication, right? Pornography, sexual immorality, right? We go pray that the Lord strengthen you, right? That was it on that, Ephraim. Let me get hey Kazak, where I had you at, Kazak?
Oh, that 1 Corinthians. Oh no, Salakia, Ephesians 6 and 10.
All right, who had 1 Corinthians 13:11?
I can grab that for you.
And who had Psalm 101 and verse 1? Hey, Ephraim, can you get that for me? So let's bring this out. Let's bring this out in 1 Corinthians first.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians 13 and 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Right, you see that? So in these last days, we got to put away these childish things. Right, like I said, the Lord ain't gonna allow us to rule in the kingdom if we can't rule over our own spirit. Right, so we got to overcome, right, these drug addictions. We got to overcome this pornography and this lust. Right, we got to put these things away. We got to kill off the old man, and we got to put on a new spirit. Right, and become a new man. Right. So let me get that in let me get that Psalm 101 and verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 101 and verse 1.
Hold on, Salakia. Matter of fact, Salakia, I don't think I want that one. Let me see, Salakia. I think I want it. Let me get Salakia. Let me get Psalm 19 and verse 13. And then I'm gonna finish off with that Ephesians, and that's gonna be it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 19 and verse 13. It says, keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins.
So let's stop right there. So this another thing for the brothers and sisters that's watching, this is one of the prayers that you can pray, right? If you're dealing with certain things, right? Dealing with certain spirits that you're trying to fight off, right? This is one of the things that you can pray for, right? So let's read down to verse 14.
Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me.
Right, so we don't want these spirits to have dominion over us, because if they have dominion over us, that means they got control over us, right? And that means that Satan got a stronghold on you, right? So it says, let not these sins have dominion over you, right? Read on.
Then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgression.
Right, so in the last days, we want to be innocent in the eyes of the Lord, right? We want to, like I said, we want to keep our garments white, right? Read on.
It says, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Yahawah, my strength and my redeemer.
Right, so that's where our strength comes from. It comes from the Lord, right? The Lord is the one that's going to give us the strength to overcome if we put our faith in him, right? So let me get this last one in Ephesians 6 in verse 10. And we're going to read down to verse 17. And that's going to be it.
Con. Hey, you think I could bring out something really quick?
Con, go ahead.
This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick.
Con, you want to go into it real quick?
Well, basically, once you come into this understanding and the knowledge of the truth and what the Bible is really speaking to and about, then you got to understand you're going to be tempted a lot more. You had brought out how the devil is here to kind of sift us out the truth. So when you come into this thing, you got to understand, you know, these temptations that we're seeing, like these Apple lenses and all these things. You know, you got to prepare your soul for it. You got to pray and you got to fast. So I just wanted to bring that out.
Con, praises. All right, so let's finish this off. Ephesians 6 and 10, and that's going to be it for the night.
Con. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
So let's stop right there. So it says, be strong in the Lord. So in these last days, we got to be strong in the Lord, right? It says, put on the whole armor of God. I got to echo. It says, put on the whole armor of God, right? But that's not talking about physical armor, right? So we gonna go into that see what that means, right? So let's finish reading.
Verse 12. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
So let's stop right there, right? So it says spiritual wickedness. So that goes to show you that this is not a physical thing, right? This is a spiritual thing, right? So let's read on.
Verse 13. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand.
Right? So it says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, right? Like I said, that's spiritual and not literal, right? Like Yahawah had on the whole armor of God, right? When you read that in Matthew the 4th chapter, right? I'm gonna paraphrase it, but he said, hey, what happened when Satan tried to tip Yahawah? He said, get thee hence, Satan, right? He said, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord, right? So when it goes into that armor, that's not talking about physical armor, right? That's talking about spiritual, right? And let's go show you when we read on. All right, so let's continue to read down.
Verse 14. It says, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness.
You see that it says have your loins girded with truth, so that lets you know that's not talking about physical armor, right? What is the truth? When you go into Psalm 119, 142, the Lord said, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth, right? So that spiritual armor is talking about being equipped with the laws and commandments, right? Being equipped with these precepts. So anytime Satan try to tempt you, and you say, no, I can't do that, right? I'm breaking the law, going into Exodus chapter 20. Or I can't do that. The Lord said I can't do this in the book of Leviticus, right? Even you notice in that account, in Matthew chapter 4, every time Satan tried to tempt Yahawah, and he went to a scripture, right? Right? Satan tried to get him to do something. He said, no, I can't tempt the Lord, right? And he went to the precepts, right? So that's what we got to do when we feeling weak, right? When Satan trying to tempt us, right? You got to go to these precepts, right? So let's read down to verse 17.
Con. It says, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Verse 16, above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High.
Right, you see that, which is the word of the Most High, right? So that's what that is, right? Going into the words of the Most High, going into these precepts, right? So verse 16, it says, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench the fiery darts of the wicked, right? So imagine Satan, he gonna keep coming at you. It's like he throwing darts at you, right? And you got that shield, which is these precepts, these scriptures, right? And every time Satan go try to get at you, and you gonna be able to withstand him, right? If you equip with these precepts, right? If you praying and fasting, right? If you have faith, the Lord said, even if you got faith, the grain of a mustard seed, right? Right. And so with that, and we gonna close it up, right? Lord willing, this lesson was edifying for the brothers and sisters that was tuning in, right? Hey, again, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah by Hashem Yahawah, the water for all the brothers and sisters that was tuning in to YahawahsCamp Wars on Wednesday, right? Hey, any brothers got any closing statements?
Khan, you know I always got something to say. Come on, man. Hey, I just had one quick precept. It's a kicker. It's a smack in the face, so to speak, but I'm gonna bring it out anyway. It's the Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 4. It says, "For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin." Right? So the more that you consume yourselves with the fornication, with the adultery, with the idolatry, with everything that the Most High despises, then of course you can't expect him to want to bless you with some wisdom or with some of his knowledge, right? For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. You know, I mean that's you know, that's a powerful precept right there. You know, you do wrong, you can't expect the Lord to be behind you. You can't expect him to have your back. You can't expect him to shield you from the wicked. And that's all I had. Shalom, Israel.
All praises, all praises. Hey, anybody else got something they want to bring out before we close up? All right, all praises. We gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Like I said again, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah Bashem Yahweh Shah, and shalom to everybody that was tuning in. Again, I'm brother Yahshua by Yahawah.
Hey, it's your brother Mahar.
It's your brother Aniel.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. It's your brother Shalak.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. It's your brother Kazak.
Hey, we want to give a mighty Kwam Yashala to the nation of Israel and shalom.
Shalom.